Hello, welcome to the Game Trove. I'm Freelander, and this is Embersword. We're going through the white paper today. It's going to be, the white paper is a bit of a journey. You can see up over here, the scroll bar. It's quite the long white paper. We're not going to be reading it all. I will be summarizing and moving through it relatively quickly and just giving you some of the highlights. I read the whole thing so that you don't have to if you don't want to. I would recommend reading the whole thing. It really lays out what I believe is the best way of doing a game in general, and especially a Web3 game. There are multiple good ways of doing it, but this, I think, lays some of the best groundwork for it. The two main ways, right before we go on, that I think the other good way of doing a game, this is not pay to win at all. I believe pay to win can be doable with NFTs. You just have to choose which you want to do. Neither is bad. It just is two different ways of doing things. All right, so it is an isometric. Where is my combat here? All right. Sorry, guys. Yes, here we are. Embersword has fast-paced combat of ARPGs combined with isometric view and skill-based abilities of MOBAs like League of Legends, set in a persistent MMORPG sci-fi fantasy universe. So really cool. It's a little janky in its flavor, which it's, I would say it's sci-fi fantasy punk is how I would put it. It has that steampunk kind of vibe, only future dystopian world where they have technology, but they've blasted themselves back down to not knowing how that technology works. They just use it like magic, so pretty cool. All right, some of the highlights: free to play, platform agnostic. That's big. MMORPG, empowering social gameplay. No pay to win, no loot boxes, no buy-in, no wallets. Oh, wallets are optional. Easy to play, hard to master. ARPG, MOBA type combat system. Become a landowner. So if you want to buy land, it's pretty cheap right now, in my opinion, about $70. Tradable digital collectibles, proprietary custom-built game engine, dynamic in-game content. So really cool. Different stuff here. The Ember token is going to be there, and in-game cosmetic items are the two play to earn elements of this. And yes, it is play to earn. Moving on. And background. So you can purchase land and do stuff with it. The higher tier lands, you can do more with it. Lower tier lands are basically just you get a share of Ember tokens that are bought and sold for cosmetics in the game. I'll go a little bit more into land later, but not too in depth because that's not the main focus of this video. Okay, this is big. Right here in the year 2000, the video game market was worth $8 billion. And now, last year, it was worth $267 billion. So that's more than 33 times the amount. And with blockchain, this number right here is going way up. I think the 404 billion is low. I think that's with traditional games and people just wanting to have experiences and play games for fun. Once you add the trading and investment aspect and business within games, not just for trading, but businesses, storefronts, and everything. The metaverse. I think this number is going to be a lot higher. Moving on. Not financial advice. Of course, none of this is. Okay. Almost half the world's population, maybe a third, plays at least an hour a day. Okay, Embersword, any device, any platform, any system across the globe within 10 seconds loading time with a 3G connection. No plugins, no extensions, no loaders, no patches, no downloads needed. This, I can't underestimate enough how important this is. Most people anymore, it's sad, but they do not have the attention span necessary to wait for a 10-minute download, let alone a 2-hour download. So with their game engine, which we'll talk about a little later, they can do this. It doesn't matter what you're on. You just load up their web page or go to their web page and it loads up. One really cool thing you can do with this that they are going to implement is wherever you are on the internet, your friend sends you a link or you're chatting and they give you a link to Embersword. You can click on that link and you'll appear right next to them in Embersword. Not even from a different starting point. Now, that's not confirmed, but if I were them, I would implement that. That is something they have mentioned, and I would implement that for sure, because there's nothing like just jumping right into the action. And with Embersword, the way the combat works, it should flow pretty smooth. You might be a little weaker if you don't have like an advanced sword or something like that. So, or the skills for swords. I mean, equipment isn't as much of a big deal as the skill of using swords or the skill of using bows or whatever you are using. I'm planning on a mage primarily. I mean, I like all the classes. I like them all, but I like the variety and cool stuff you can do with a mage and teleporting around the battlefield. Okay, so this just goes through some of the industry's problems. Some things, money extraction from players and all that. That's predatory, and in-game combat. Content that like you do the boss raid once, you kind of know how things go. Easy to play, hard to master. This is super important that you hit all the spectrums. Like way back in the day, in my opinion, Mega Man on the original Nintendo was super duper hard to learn. Super duper hard. Once you learned it, it took skill still, but you could do it. But it was a very hard game. Now, if you were better at than me, that's fine. But for me, it was really hard. But a game that's super duper easy, but then the top level game content takes fine skill and finesse and a lot of training hours to accomplish. Both PvE and PvP is very important for a game, especially if it's play to earn. I do believe that the best players should get the best rewards. I think if everybody has a chance to earn, then it's good. But the rewards just should be much higher for the top end content. Empowering social gameplay. They're really doing a lot to bolster what the community is going to be like. They're very guarded in their approach. And they're trying to be transparent, but also like they don't want to hype things up at the wrong times, and then it just goes deadlines and goes flat, and nobody plays the game ever again. So they're navigating that. They have many years experience in the gaming creation industry, but also in guilds and everything. Dynamic in-game content. The bosses will do different things each time you encounter them. They are implementing, or at least, I'm not sure if I found it in the white paper, but in the past they've said the AI Gamemaster, where you're going along and depending on how the party's doing, the AI Gamemaster will throw more enemies at you, or change things up, or give you harder quests, depending on what you're doing and what's going on. So keeping the world really fresh and really exotic. Skill-based combat. So if you pick up a sword, that's your what skills you have access to. If you switch to your bow, you have access to those skills. 6 different skill slots. I really hope they nail the controls or custom controls. I just, that's a piece that the last game test was lacking, but they have harped on it in this white paper. So hopefully they make huge improvements on that, and they have said that they are updating the graphics. That's a huge thing. There will be. We'll go through the roadmap here in a little while. This just talks about the dynamic boss fights or dungeons. Yeah, progressions, XP, and weapon skill. You kind of need more XP the higher up the weapon skill goes, so it'd be really hard to max them out, which is kind of cool. You know, top level players will want to max those out, especially for PvP. I'm sure PvE is going to be quite challenging as well. I think this was really cool. Best hack and slash action RPG that I know of is Torchlight. Torchlight was really good, and I hope that it embodies some of that coolness. Torchlight has a similar feel to Embersword, I would say. Kind of a magic punk, whereas this is sci-fi punk. But this is kind of sci-fi magic punk. They want to make it good for solo play, and parties up to 4, and then raids will be 10 to 20 players, which is really good. And then hopefully they do it right so that all of a sudden one of the nations will get mad at another nation, and then it's just a free-for-all fight in the middle of the map for something special. That or not free-for-all, but army versus army. It'd be really cool to just see thousands of players running at each other and mowing each other down, and whichever army wins, all that side gets something special. That'd be just really cool. You can see some of the weapon progression here, and then so these are sets of basic weapons, like 3 sets. That is on there, so this would be the first 3, and then there's like 4 more tiers up, and this is subject to change and more and content and stuff. Combat design, fast-paced encounters, combos with main attack, no target lock, so you really have to plan your skills well and time them well in order to catch your enemy with them. Intelligent enemies. So, and again, the AI Gamemaster, things like the enemy has, like big enemies have AoE, have friendly fire. So you'll see a bunch of the, if there's a big rat with a huge club swinging, then a bunch of the smaller rats will go, oh no, and like run out of the way of this big swinging that's just charging at you. Just different cool effects like that could really make battles interesting. Smooth controls, so they are thinking about it. Constant balancing, again, the AI Gamemaster, dungeons, social craft-driven trade, which I really like, so gives meaning to your crafting. NFTs as well can you can get them that way. Guild progression, land development, fun activities, tavern feast, music and dances, mini games. This will be pretty cool. Hope they implement that well. Living world NPCs, lifelike behavior. Again, I think that we're planning to heavily use AI, and I hope they do. World PvP zones, so there will be whole zones in between the nations that are free for all. Just no friendly fire within your party of 4. And so you go out there, it's an outlaw zone, anybody can kill you just so long as you're not part of your immediate party, and you can get NFTs for holding certain outlaw territories for a certain amount of time. So it's like you're the outlaw boss there, and that's your sanctuary. But people can try to go conquer you like you would a environment boss base. So really cool. It'll be interesting to see how long a certain team could hold out, could hold their fortress, because there could be an infamous one that just lasts like 100 days, and then somebody takes them out, and then they take it right back the next day. Really cool. Basically, so no one really knows what's in there but them. Would be really funny. Factions with changing attitude. I was in an AMA with them, and I asked them they typed a response because I was just typing it there, and they said that they are still planning to do a trading system between caravan trading, so you have to travel your caravan through the outlaw territories, and I hope the rewards for that are really good. They're not really working on it right now, but they do plan to implement it still. It is still in the roadmap. So I think that's really cool. So you have a party of 4 trying to defend this caravan against whoever is going to try to stop you. Or I have some strategies on making a bigger guild for getting it through the outlaw territory if other players are particularly hard to fend off. Factions with changing attitude. Oh, bounty system. Interesting. That should be really cool. Like you have bounties on certain players if they're part of another nation. Factions with changing attitude towards each other, I'm pretty sure. So the politics between the nations will change, which could end up very interesting if they implement it right. Like all of a sudden, free for all, or not free for all, but like open season, one open season to any players in another faction would be crazy. Some abilities. All right. So now we get into the tokenomics. The tokenomics, here are some off-chain stuff: in-game gold, weapons, basic wearables, basic emotes. So they give free-to-play players some stuff to do, or some stuff, some basic, stuff that's kind of cool, which is good. You want your free-to-play players to feel welcome and to feel like they can make progress in the game and even earn a little bit of stuff. It's not pay to win, so like all your equipment, weapons, stuff that actually is going to help you in game, aside from maybe mounts. Maybe mounts might have some speed bonuses for, not for combat, but for getting places. But anyway, all this so that players can play and not have to worry about paying for things that will help them. Ember token. This is some of the best token use case I've seen for Ember token, for tokens in games. It will be the lifeblood of the cosmetic trading, as well as a few other things. and it's just really going to. They didn't use the word here, but they had staking. Like you have a certain amount of Ember token and you can use it to get more Ember token is kind of how they put it. I'm not going to search through and find it unless it pops out to me. But so it's going to have DeFi purposes as well as just the in-game current, or not the in-game currency, but the premium currency in the game. So really cool. They're not going to have a separate governance token, which I appreciate. Because why have two tokens? Somebody can explain it to me, but if you're not confident that your play to earn token will work, will be sustainable, then why have the play to earn token? Why separate the two? And they want power to the players, so they want the players to be more in control of their destiny. Land plots. You get to customize. You get to tailor quests in your area. So that's really cool. Like you're the mayor of the town or the city, and you get to choose what quests are available and stuff to a certain extent, or at least a certain type of quest line. You get to pick what buildings are in your town and that sort of thing. So that's only for the second tier and above. Here, regular, they're just a little bit of rewards with it. But settlement, you get to start placing buildings, settlement, town, and city, respectively. And they come with more rewards. We'll go through that in a minute. Okay, moving on to that actually. Yeah, just so much. Yeah, this 200 million was in a bull market, and it included Americans. Americans were not allowed to participate. They didn't explicitly say, but I was restricted, and I don't use it. Anyway, so so that 200 million, a lot of it might have come from America. I'm not sure, but or pledged. We will see how it went. I'm not sure how this land sale went, but a regular plot is like one player screen. Same with a settlement. Towns are like 4 player screens, and cities are 16. So you can do large buildings in cities. Let's see some of the main differences here. You get a title, Sir or Lady, for a regular plot. You get more titles. Players spawn player quests, which is really cool. More multiplier for the amount of Ember token you get when people sell things. Premium shop rewards. This is interesting. So if you have a premium shop on that land from Brightstar, then you get some rewards for hosting that. Yeah, and just better stuff. Landowners. This is just you could pause it and look through that if you want to. Yeah, same with that. This is the breakdown of $100 when a player spends $100 in the game, where that money goes. So really cool the way they set this up. I don't think it's overburdensome. I think 7% tax for a game is fine. I would not go more than 10 if you're a game developer watching this. Just because if you take too much value from the players won't really find your game rewarding to play. And also ROI is important. So if they buy cosmetic and they're losing 15 or 85% of it, not cool. But if they're keeping 93% of it, that's pretty good. you'd have to do like a 6, 7x if they're only keeping 15%, whereas here you just have to, if it doubles, they're making money. So breaks down that. We're getting close. We're getting close. Hope you're finding this entertaining and interesting. This is pretty close to the current in-game graphics, which is such a relief to me because they weren't looking good in the pre-alpha. But this is looking much better. And they're doing another graphic a graphic update, which they've never said before this fall. So really looking forward to that. That and the controls. I'm really interested to see how they do in this next playtest. If they can nail those two things, this is going to be one of the biggest games of the world. Not financial advice. Collectables, so you can pause this if you want to. There's a history behind who bought and sold it. So that's going to add to their collectability. You can fuse them together, like commons to rares, rares to epic, and so on, so that the cosmetics that people earn get more and more scarce. And they'll want, if you have 3 and you need 4, you're going to want to buy that 4th one. So that'll add to the, to fuse it for the next level. So that'll add to the trading that happens, which helps the landowners out and everybody else. Yeah, here's the fusing. Anti-bot, they say it's a game of cat and mouse, and they're using their best balance of not banning actually good players and hunting down bots. They have good technology for that. Token distribution. Play to earn is 50%. Advisors, early supporters 8. Reserves 7. Team 19. Early token sales and public token sales, a total of 16%. Anything that's not sold here will go into the reserves for helping out other parts of the ecosystem if need be. This goes through that. They're going to use a multi-sig for securing the Ember tokens that Brightstar holds. Brightstar is the development studio. Economic policy, cosmetic merging, technology. This is important. So modern tech stack is object-oriented tech stack is what most games and everything use. Data-driven tech stack should have much higher performance per CPU and memory usage. So they can do cool things like no launcher, no plugin, no extension, universal access, minimal downtime, no waiting, infinite worlds, low disk space requirements. Dev. Now this is important for Embersword because so all this just means a lot of players will be playing this game. Anything you can just download and play for free is going to be very, very interesting. That and one more thing about the token. It will be distributed as part of the play to earn for completing certain high level quests and tasks. So it is going to be a direct play to earn. I want to go back to the token for a little bit. The inflation schedule is not to exceed it. It has a supply of 2.5 billion that they will try to maintain. Because the inflation distribution for the play to earn can go up and down, and it's not going to exceed 5%. 5% inflation for a play to earn token, I am perfectly fine with that. And the burning mechanism should balance it out so that hopefully it's 0 inflation most of the time, which would be great. So tokenomics, phenomenal. Anyway, so a lot of people will be playing the game, and the play to earn will be a big part of that. dev live patching. So if something goes wrong, the devs can just fix it on the fly, won't have to kick out players. Hot reloading, not sure what that means. Instant builds, so you don't even have to take it down to put a new build out. One build, all platforms. This is huge. So it also means that you don't have to dev specifically for Apple, iPhone. You don't have to dev specifically for Android. This slows down a lot of development teams if they want to be everywhere. And it means they can get builds out quicker, and things like controls and stuff will probably be more custom because different devices have different control schemes. So this includes PCs, of course, and everything that can download anything or have a browser open. So this tech stack, I believe Brightstar Studios is going to start leasing this out to other. This is my speculation, but I believe they're going to start leasing this out to other game developers. That's what I would do if I developed a tech stack that could do all this. They say that because they can it allows for efficient processing of data, large amounts of data. I believe the graphics are going to get a lot better because they are able to do this. The graphical constraints that they were under were probably more for the pre-alpha, just testing their tech stack. Why blockchain? I talk about this all the time. Focus on fun with the trading. You don't have to move a good portion of your players to the black market in order for them to trade stuff. Cost of active currency creation. It's just a token on the thing. You don't have to keep loading up your fiat as a company in order to make things work with the main token, premium currency. Player-driven economy, immutable rules, community-driven governance. They plan to be decentralized eventually. Roadmap. Okay. So prototype that happened years ago. Technical test happened last year and earlier this year. Alpha, whitepaper release, collectibles sale, venture investment, closed beta, land sales, token release, public play tests, server increase testing, full beta release. So we are right here with the white paper releasing and closed beta coming. This is this year. It's gonna happen, and I'm excited about it. Token release this year, if they could keep on track with this. But they just released this white paper, so I'm guessing these are pretty accurate. Founders cosmetic, founders pack, graphics update. There it is. Graphics update right there. Full and final release 2024, other nations 2025. So really fun to see. This just goes through some of their numbers. Team, phenomenal team. Like, I'm impressed with every one of them that I've seen. They were super nice when interacting with them on the AMA. Mark Larson isn't part of their, or not Mark Larson, Lauren Rosenberg, I think, Rosen something. Doesn't look like he's part of the team anymore, but he probably just moved on to do his own thing, since large part of his involvement was advisory and like COO type stuff, and also community, like investment, getting investments and getting partnerships and that sort of thing. So, which he's really good at. So he probably finished his job, like what he needed to do. I would be shocked if they left on bad terms. I think they it was probably gonna go do this thing to make money during the bear market, or then yeah, I don't foresee a problem there, and the members that are here are very high quality. They're doing everything I've seen is quality. So yeah, that is the white paper. Thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully you got some insights from my delve into this document. If you want to read it yourself, go to their you can find it on their website. It's a little bit obscure. Let's see, where did I find it? All the way down at the bottom right here. So, all right, embersword.com. All right, that's it. Freelander,